up, you guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Cut to the Chase Fashion. If you're new to my YouTube channel, I'm Chase Tyler, and for today's video, I'm going to be showing you, or rather telling you, what it's like owning a plus-size boutique and being a plus-size entrepreneur. For those of you who are new to my channel, or for those of you who don't know, I own a women's plus-size clothing boutique with my mom called Renee Tyler. Plus size is 12 and above at Fashion Show Mall, and we specialize in evening wear, cocktail, ready-to-wear, bridal, couture, a plethora of things. So without further ado, let's get started with today's video. So just a little bit of background about myself and, my attachment with my mother's business, my mom and I's business. She started the business back in 2010, and back then it was called Purple Diva Designs, because she's known as the Purple Diva. Her favorite color is purple. She has purple hair. And so when she started it, I was still in elementary school, just reaching middle school. And so growing up, one of the I would say one of the major things that affected, or rather impacted, my life was seeing my mom live this life of having a career, but then also working on the side and doing other things, because in order to fulfill her dream, she had to hustle in order to make that a reality. And so one of the biggest, inspirations, I could say, is that I loved seeing her being able to work all day, or work her ass off, and then come home and cut out a pattern. Or Saturdays I would go downtown with her, Saturdays and Sundays, weekends I would go downtown with her to downtown LA and buy fabric, and all of our favorite fabric stores like Michael Levine, going through downtown LA and just going street by street, finding fabrics, finding trim, finding everything. And one of the biggest things that I loved out of all of it was that I got to do it with my mom. And so fast forward a couple of years, she started, like I said, in 2010. So fast forward to 2016, I'm a sophomore in high school, and I know that this is something that I want to do, or at least something that I'm heavily considering. And so one of the first things that I majorly stepped into in terms of the business was helping her produce a show called Hot Curves LA Fashion Week. Well, that was back in 2010, but so backtrack a little bit. 2012 and 2013. Sorry, it's been a long time. It's been a decade of fashion and things like that. But anyway, and so helping her produce fashion show, getting models, getting a venue, getting photographers, hair and makeup artists, step and repeat, getting sponsors, all of those things. So all of those components help me realize and see that this is something that I definitely want to do. I just have, somebody like my mom doing it with me, so that's an added bonus. And so one of the things that I took as I got older and things like that was that if I wanted to do this, I might as well do it with my mom, because sure, I can go off and go to school and, get a degree and things like that, but I'd rather do it with my mom, because she knows the business. She's learned, a lot throughout these 10 years, well, 12 years now, that she's been doing it. And who better to do it with than family? So now back to 2016, we did Art Hearts LA Fashion Week. That was our third time doing Fashion Week, technically. Twice during Hot Curves, and then once doing it during LA Fashion Week. We were the only plus size brand to show, and that was my first taste into what it was like to be on stage, because I had always helped her behind the scenes at trade shows and things like that, because I was younger, so I was a little bit older, so I got to help her, cast models, put together hair and makeup looks, help her with the design process. One of the things that I do as creative director is I look at trends, I look at styles, I look at fabrics, colors, all those things like that that are, trending or coming up for the season, whether it be spring, summer, or fall and winter. And I say, hey, this is something that we need to do, but for plus size, or this is something that we need to do because this is what's lacking in the plus size market and plus size space. And so that's one of the things that I do as creative director, as well as coordinate and facilitate all of our photo shoots and video campaigns. One of the things that we did was my mom was a finalist for the Cultivate Award, which is a grant from Eloquy, and she placed runner-up, which is, okay. But one of the things that we did was we came up with this idea based on some inspiration that we had saw, put together a mood board, and we presented a video. And so this is like our first time having like a video done of this quality, and it really showed me that like this is a brand that I think is life-changing, and in my opinion a game changer, because there's nothing like it. And one of the things that is especially, I think, important is that it's a brand designed by a plus-size woman. You know, and son, you know, I'm big and tall. And I think a lot of times brands, especially like designer brands, they don't understand, unless they have somebody on their team who's plus size and like above a size 16, you know, like the 18, 20 or up, that plus size women deserve to have great, fabulous fashion just as straight size women do and consumers do. But what they do is they tend to just take the blueprint cookie cutter, product and just grade it up a size without, accommodating for height, body type, whether it be apple shape, pear shape, hourglass figure, and then just grading it up instead of using their resources to get fit models and things like that. And that's one of the things that, as a brand, we are proud of, is that though we don't use fit models, my mom has been all sizes throughout her life. So she knows, okay, if I'm making a dress in a size 14, 16, it's gonna fit me. Okay, so if I want it to fit a size 26, 28, we need to allow more room in the bust, more room in the waist, more room in the hips. Okay, does it need to be a little bit longer if it's a cocktail dress? Because, with hips and, bust and everything like that, sometimes things tend to raise up on larger women, so you need to accommodate for that. So all of those components go into, design and things like that. And while I haven't gone to school for design, she didn't go to school for design, but she's been sewing all her life. And so one of the things that I think is, just amazing is that your support, if you, support our brand, shop our brand, or get to know our brand, is that the clothes are being made with the plus size woman in mind, whether it be their body type, their shape, age even. She's a big advocate, for women over 40, because, everybody isn't, everybody who is a size 12 and above isn't 25 anymore. You know what I mean? Not that they ever were, but you know what I mean. But, I'm all over the place, I know. I'm just really passionate about this. But one of the things that I think is difficult is that brands like Macy's, Dillard's, and of course the bigger stores like, Neiman Saks, who house a lot of these designer brands, they tend to just, once they get to a size 12, now, like once they get to a size 16, they're like, okay, everybody else, you can just get like the basic, like, Mother of the Bride, ugly dress with chiffon and pleating and everything like that. And while some of those styles are figure flattering, a lot of them aren't done in a tasteful way. I'm going to include pictures of basically what I'm talking about. I'm sure you've seen these styles. I'm sure a number of you have worn these styles. And I feel like plus size women should be offered and afforded the same options as straight size women, just with a certain modification. So whether it be a spaghetti strap dress, okay, maybe in plus size you have a spaghetti strap dress, but you make the straps a little bit bigger so that it can accommodate for supporting a larger woman's bust. Things like that, little things here and there to just utilize and, technically, I guess you could say accommodate, your larger women, larger consumers, because everybody is a different body, straight size or plus size. Not everybody's 6 feet tall who's a size 14, 16. Not everybody who's a 14, 16 looks like Ashley Graham. Not everybody who's a size, 20, 22, wants to wear a bodycon dress or wear, a dress with, flowers on it and things like that. By the way, brands, let's try and, afford plus size women the opportunity to shop designs and styles that other women get, because a lot of the times it's like they've cold shoulder, or we'll do a floral print that looks like your grandma's couch, and nobody wants that anymore. Certain people do, they don't mind it, that's their aesthetic, that's not me. as I say, it's an acquired taste. It's not for everybody, but like I said, I'm kind of just rambling here. But one of the things, I keep saying one of the things, but one of the things is that we're proud to be a store that carries up to size 6X in some styles. Just proud to be a Black-owned, family-owned brand that has a store in such an amazing place on the Las Vegas Strip. So I highly recommend you check us out. I'll have all of our social media, our website, everything linked down below. But I just want to articulate that even though, you know, I'm a big and tall man, that, you know, plus size women are just as, you know, in need of clothing just as much as we are and things like that. Everybody, fashion has no size. So whether, as my mom says, whether you're size 4 or 34, fashion is for everyone. There's no, you know, cap on gender, age, size, things like that for, you know, fashion. So it's one of those things where you have to kind of take into account fashion should be for everybody, especially if you're looking to get into the plus size space because you want to be inclusive. Make sure that you're really being inclusive. Like I've seen like brands like Cider and, you know, Boohoo and things like that, Fashion Nova, Shein, they stop at like a size 3X, 4X, and that's great, but most of the time the size is off, the quality and the fit is completely off. Like on Cider's website, I'm going to include a screenshot. They have, I guess, Cider size, which is, I guess, their measurement or what they basically measure, like a standard, like plus size based off of like, I guess just general standard. And then they have like, you know, standard sizing. So like I went on their website because I saw something that was kind of cute and I was like, oh, they do plus, let me check them out. And the 4X is an 18, and it's like, that's very, like, to me, damaging and to somebody's self-esteem and, you know, really just body image, because somebody would order that 4X without really taking the time to look through their size chart and think, oh my god, this cute dress is going to be in my size, and then they get it and it's going to be too tight or it won't even fit, and then they feel like, oh my god, I just, you know, I'm too big for a 4X, so I must be, you know, gigantic. And it's one of those things where a lot of brands like Fashion Nova, Shein, Boohoo, Pretty Little Thing, they aren't, even though they're slowly starting to, you know, include plus sizes, it's not really plus, and I suggest you don't support it. I am going to be putting up a video in the next couple of weeks talking about all the brands that you should and shouldn't support as a plus size person, men and women, because there's been some brands that I've looked at where I'm like, oh, I love this, but they stop at like a 2X. I'm like, that's great, but hello, what about me? I have money to spend as well. And that's one of the things that a lot of brands just still don't get, is that the plus size industry garners at least like $2 billion a year in revenue on the low end and high end. So there's plus size people that are looking to spend. So that's just something to, you know, think about. But anyway, back to, you know, a little bit about, you know, the brand and things like that. So after high school, you know, I went to college for a year at UNLV, but I really wanted to do fashion. So after my first year, my mom was like, hey, I'm thinking about opening a store. What do you think? And I was like, it's a great idea. You know, we could really start, you know, branching out here in Vegas. So, you know, we opened our first store. And one of the things that I really have loved seeing over the years is how, even though it's been, you know, 12 years, in the past like 5, we've really garnered a lot of, like, you know, influence and popularity and just appreciation from our clients, because we do this out of love, and we do, of course, it's a business, we're in the business to make money, but at the same time, we're also doing this because we want to fulfill a need for those who aren't, we basically want to serve the underserved and the underappreciated. So one of the things that, I keep saying one of the things, stop it. So one of the things, I keep saying one of the things. So overall, basically, just to basically wrap up the background, you know, we're here we're here to serve, and we want people to come into the store. It's a safe space. Whether you are a size extra large, like a 10, 12, or your size 34, even if we don't have something in your size in the store, We are going to do everything in our power to make sure that you find something that you love, something that you want, and something that you need, so that you don't have to walk out of the store feeling defeated, like, oh my God, I came to the store and there's nothing here for me. What am I going to do? You know, things like that. So now I'm going to get into basically the things that I experience or have experienced since opening a plus size store. That was more so just like my side of like what it's like to be an entrepreneur and things like that, but they kind of meet in the middle. But first things first, I'm going to say this. A lot of people are going to get upset at me. A lot of people are going to throw tomatoes, boo, say, you know, what they want to say, but I'm saying what I want to say. When you come into the store, whether you are a size 1X, which is about a 14-16 or a 12-14, depending on the item, and up, 12 and above, if you have to size up, it is not the end of the world. Say it with me. If I have to size up, it is not the end of the world. We have so many women who come into the store daily. I'm not exaggerating to get views or, you know, get your attention. Daily. Who come into the store and they see something that they love and I'm like, oh, I'm a 1X. And they're like my size or even larger sometimes. Or they're like, oh, I'm a 2X and they're about a 3, 4X. The plus size, the reason why plus size stores were invented is because it was for plus size people. Whether you're a size 14, 16 or 32, 34, if we're a plus size store, we're going to have something in your size. And I think it's just a psychological thing because women have been told, oh, you have to be, you know, pencil thin to be gorgeous. You know, you have to have beautiful skin. You have to have beautiful hair. You know, you have to wear, you know, makeup and da-da-da-da, all that shit. But one of the things that I just, like, it honestly disheartens me a lot because I know there are so many women who come in and think, oh, I'm a 1X, and then they're so afraid to just try a size or two up that they leave the store without anything empty-handed. And it's like, no one's going to know the size but you. And even then, who cares? Like, who honestly gives a fuck? Like, I'm sorry, but who gives a fuck? No one's going to be, you're not going to go to your friend's wedding, or you're not going to get married, or you're not going to go to some charity event or some big to-do, and somebody's going to be like, oh my God, you look great. What size are you wearing? Nobody does that. And if they do, especially if it's a friend or a family member, they're not your friend or family. They can kick rocks. And it's not their goddamn business. Just simple as that. But it's just one of those things where it's just, I have to do like a Miss J, and I'm like, what? Where did all of this come from? But honestly, it came from brands like Fashion Nova and Shein, making you think that, oh, well, in their sizing with cheap fast fashion, that, oh, well, I can fit into a size 1X and I wear a size 2022. But the dress stretches from here to here because it's made of cheap fabric that costs them less than $1 and less than $1 to make. So they're just raking in the profit. Meanwhile, they're damaging your self-esteem and ultimately ruining your body image because they're making you think that you're a certain size when you're really not. I've had customers come in when they're like, I'm a 14-16 or, you know, I'm a 1X, and then they come in and they try on the 1X and they don't want to come outside the fitting room because they get so high and mighty and things like that. Oh, well, I'm a 1X. As if like, oh no, how dare you, like, you know, say, oh, I'm a 2X or above. You know, I'm larger than a 1X or I'm extra large. Oh, how dare you. And it was, I'll show a picture. It was a gown that my mom wore for her birthday. Beautiful gown. One of the gowns that we had in the store. And she was going to a big wedding. It was like a big Greek wedding, black tie formal, men in like tuxedos, women in ball gowns, like really like a big formal wedding, like how I want to have my wedding. But, so, you know, the dress is a size 18, but because in the waist and bust, there's no stretch. It's one of those, well, you've seen the picture, so you know what it looks like, duh. But basically, I'll put it back up on the screen, where the bodice is, that's all rhinestone and crystal, so, or just rhinestone, so that doesn't have any give. So right in the waist is where it's the smallest, and then once you get below the waist, because it's a ball gown, it just flares out. So once you're past the waist, you don't have to worry about the shape or anything like that. Honestly, you don't at all. And so she really loved it, and it was in her budget. You know, it was a big to do. She was like, whatever, whatever. Money is no object. And I was like, oh well, it's a size 18, but well, she's like, oh, I'm a 14, 16. I was like, oh, okay, this is the size 18. This is the size that we have on the floor. But if you need smaller, we can order it for you. But just try up. I'm a size 14, which she was, but my mom's a size 14. She tried on. She wore the size 18. The only part that was big was in the shoulders, just because she's smaller in the bust. So, but everything else fit. It zipped up and fit her like a glove. My mom, by the way, not the customer. And so she left like all pissed or whatever. But looking back on it, I would have been like, this is my store, and I'm the one that purchased the gown. I'm the one that decided to buy this gown for a customer like you. So I suggest you take my advice and just try the damn dress on. But of course, I just let them go, whatever, whatever. She probably went to Neiman's or went to Macy's and got some basic ass, boring ass dress that somebody probably had at the wedding. And she probably felt like, damn, I really could have had a beautiful gown. But because, like, you're stopping yourself from having something absolutely fucking amazing, and you're stopping yourself just because of that number. That number doesn't matter. The number on the scale doesn't matter. The number on the dress tag doesn't matter. The number age doesn't matter. I can go on and on about numbers, even though I'm not a numbers guy. But it's just one of those things where, why would you prevent yourself from having something absolutely amazing and relieving that stress, taking that stress off of your shoulders and off of your body just because of a number? So that's like the main thing that we deal with. Another thing that we deal with that like really gets on my nerves are customers who, on both ends, high end and low end, asking for a discount, especially when something's already on sale. If you're, you know, on the low end, a lot of people come in, hey, I'm on a budget, okay, let me show you what we have. But then they see the stuff that's out of their budget, and then they want to nickel and dime me or dime us, and that's not going to happen, because this is what's within your budget. If you want something like this, you're going to have to increase your budget a little bit, whether it be by $50, whether it be by $500, depending on, you know. But it's not that big of a jump, but you know what I mean. But, and another thing too, when you're shopping, whether it be a boutique, whether it be a big box store, if they say that that's all they have on the floor, that's all that they have on the floor. That is one of the things on my grinds my gears list as a business owner that gets on my nerves. If I tell you, this is all we have on the floor, there are no exercises in the back, I'm not lying to you. We're not lying to you. Why would we prevent a sale or stop ourselves from making a sale when we have everything on the floor? Why would we keep anything in the back? Especially anything above a size 18, 20. Just anything in general, but especially in a larger size. Because that's stopping us from making a profit. So that's just another one of the many things you may experience if you decide to get into this business. But, yeah, so, you know, on the low end, things like that. And, you know, I get it. Things are hard. Times are hard. The economy. But you have to, if you're going into this looking at a boutique versus a Macy's or a Dillard's or a Nordstrom's or something like that, you should know that you're going to pay a little bit more for a little bit better quality, because these are things that have been curated and personalized for a consumer's experience versus just being like, okay, we'll take this, we'll take this, we'll take this, we'll take this. And okay, we want 100 of these, 500 of these, 1,000 of these. Okay, send them out to the stores across the country. That's not going to happen with us, because we don't, and a lot of the stuff that we get, we usually only get 1 or 2 runs of them at a time, sometimes only one, because plus size is now so, you know, popular and things like that. And I mean, not popular, but, and well, popular in terms of brands and retailers finally realizing, oh shit, fat people have money. And even though it's always been the case, but I digress. Like I said, I'm rambling. This is a video that's all over the place, just so you know, so stick around and buckle up and enjoy the ride. But, yeah, so on the low end, and then on the high end, people who come in, we had a couple, well, a family from the UK come in. It was a couple and then her parents. The fiance, clearly has money. She has a gorgeous diamond ring on her finger. They just went to Michael Kors. This is back when we were at Palazzo. And then the parents, they were in town because they wanted to renew their vows or get married, like in Vegas or something like that. Mom had diamond tennis bracelets, Cartier bracelets, a gorgeous, gorgeous, like princess cut diamond. Like, they probably, between both the daughters, probably had at least $20,000, maybe $30,000 worth of jewelry on their bodies between the two of them. So clearly they had money. And we were at Palazzo, by the way. So for those of you who don't know, the Palazzo is attached to the Venetian, and in that hotel is the Grand Canal shops. So really, we were like the only boutique there. There was another boutique, but not plus size, but just a boutique that had crappy clothes. But it had like Louis. It had Burberry. What else is over there? Coach, Michael Kors, Kate Spade. So really like designer brands. And so they came in and things like that, and she tried on a whole bunch of stuff. She loved everything, but her excuse for asking for a larger discount, because we had a sale going on, was that, well, I'm getting so many items, give me 50% off. No, I'm sorry. Just because I don't care if you get one item, I don't care if you get 10 items. If we're only offering 50% off, or if we're only offering 25% off regular price and 30% off sale items, or whatever, I'm not going to give you more of a discount. If we're not running a promotion and I'm like, okay, you're a military, discount, I'm not going to stack that on top of a local discount. Because if not, we're not making any money. We're in the business to make money as well as serve you, but you have to understand, especially at a space like Fashion Show Mall, we have rent to pay. We have people, employees to pay. We have inventory, business taxes, articles of incorporation. That shit is not cheap. Even though most of it is only like a once a year expense, rent is every month. Inventory, we order inventory about 2 to 3 times a month. More really once a week if we're like just really, really busy, just because we need to serve the people. But so don't, if you're somebody who shops especially at luxury stores or boutiques and things like that, or consignment stores, please don't ask them for a discount, especially haggling them. I know in some cultures that's just the culture, bartering and things like that, but please don't, because it's not attractive, and I'm going to tell you flat out no. Especially because there's been incidents where I've taken a dress back, like I took one of our couture gowns, and they were trying to haggle me and things like that. I already gave them like $100 off this gown. It was a beautiful gown, feathers, beading, hand sewn, all of that. And I took the dress and hung it back up. And once I did that, then they were like, okay, how much? And I was just like, we could have avoided all of that had you just taken the $100 discount and went about your way. So, like I said, just be respectful. I'm sorry, the customer is not always right, in my opinion, because there are people who will try and scam you. There are people who will try and nickel and dime you. There will be people who will try and undercut you because they think, oh, well, you're in this fabulous space next to Louis Vuitton and all that, you must have it made. No. I'm still driving a car that I inherited. My mom's still driving a truck that she's had for probably at least, oh my gosh, she's had that truck forever. She's had that truck for well over 5 years. So it's not like we're just rolling in cash, because if that was the case, we wouldn't be working the business physically in the store. We would be jet setting around the world, on vacation once a month, things like that. I think it's hard to actually visualize it, or rather realize that, small businesses are small, especially once they start to grow and, gain a following. Just because 1 minute we're at New York Fashion Week doesn't mean that we're rolling in dough the day after. You know what I mean? And just because, we may have a store, a 3,000 square foot space, doesn't mean that, we're, basically just happy to like make a sale like during these times, and I guess you could say where a lot of people just see that from is with celebrity culture and things like that. People think, oh, if you have it, if you just have one customer a day, or where you have, you know, if you're making at least, you know, $500 a day or $1,000 a day, oh, you've made it. That's not the case, because one day it could be $1,000 and the next day it could be zero. It's just the reality of the situation. Unless you have a brand where you're just constantly, you know, garnering in sales and grossing sales, or you have a brand that's backed by celebrity, or you pay for celebrity endorsements, things like that, or pay influencers who are like becoming the new models and spokespeople for brands. So that's basically it, I think. Is that it? I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. That is it. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you want to hear more. I'm always happy to talk. I'm always happy to spill the tea. I'm very opinionated. I would just say that now. Some of the things you may not agree with, but I just feel like, you know, we only have one life, and I feel like when it comes to the art of dressing yourself, you should always just want to look your best. Even on days, I know, even for me lately, it's just been one of those things where I just put on my all black, I put on my shoes, I grab my bag, and I just go to work. But then there's days like today where I just came into work and, you know, I just loved helping the customers. You're gonna have days where you love your job, and then you're gonna have days where you want to rip your hair out and just quit because you just can't take the pressure. You can't take, you know, you can't handle, you know, dealing with nasty customers or dealing with negative comments and things like that. It's all about, you know, providing a service, but also setting boundaries so that people don't overstep. Because just because you're nice, don't mistake my kindness for weakness. So that's basically all I have to say. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was all over the place. I just have a lot to say, and I just sometimes don't know how to say it. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to give it a like, leave a comment down below, thumbs up, all the good things. Turn on the notification bell so that you get notified of my videos. And be sure to follow me too, because I know with the YouTube algorithm, and just algorithms in general, I know things are like 1 minute you get notified, and then the next minute you'll look and be like, wait, he's posted 5 videos since I last saw him? Holy shit. So just keep up with me. You can always send me DMs, you know, questions, topics, things you want me to talk about. I'm open. I'm just here to basically offer my advice in my experience, because you know, as somebody who's been big and tall and plus size all of my life, I feel like I'm, you know, kind of an expert just on what I know and what people, you know, want to see and need to hear. And also just, I want to be somebody who, you know, people can look up to in the sense that they feel represented, and, you know, be like, hey, you know what? I know I can go to Chase Fashion because he's going to have where I can find the best, you know, things for under, you know, $100, or where can I find a good tuxedo because I'm going to my friend's wedding, or I'm getting married and I'm a big and tall guy and I don't want to go to Men's Warehouse, you know, things like that. And so, you know, I'm here to be of service, and I'm here to, you know, offer my advice and all of my good stuff. But hope you guys enjoyed this video, all of the things, and lots of love, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.